Yo, 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 yo. What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? We got a we got a pretty big breaking news right here for you guys here that we want to cover today, cover tonight. So I'm gonna allow you guys a few seconds to catch up to this live, but this is a pretty big piece of news here. So let's give it like a minute or so. Let's allow people to catch up to the live. But we got a pretty big story here coming in today that we finally now are going to be getting the replacement for Shannon Sharpe on Undisputed. So make sure you check in and let us know where you're coming in from. And I'll get this information ready for you guys right now. Let me see. Let me see who we got in here. Somebody say, "Hey, yo, what's good? What's good?" Somebody say, "Oh Lord, what's popping? Son, what's good? What's good?" Coco Hulk, welcome in, welcome in. Let me just get the article here for you guys ready. There's a bunch of different articles. I think I'm gonna probably read from the New York Post. We got a breaking news that Shannon Sharpe now has officially been replaced on Undisputed. I'm gonna give it like another 30 seconds or so. Somebody said no. Salute, Tiger the Great. Welcome in. Make sure you check in Toronto. I see you, Dominican Republic. Didi was good. BX to ATL. Welcome in. Let's give it like another 20 seconds or so. We're gonna get into it. Somebody said, "Wow, awesome replacement." Man, ain't nobody gonna watch that ish. Trinidad and Tobago was good. New to the channel, GJT, welcome in. Shout out to Adrian. Nice cut. Appreciate that, Carlos. Okay, 10 more seconds and we're gonna get into it. 10 more seconds, and we're gonna get into it right quick. Let me just send out this notification. All right, so this is the breaking news. Shout out to Tiana, David was good, and Aston, I see you. And who else? Okay, so let me get into this story here. So we're done shooting for the day. I jump on my phone to jump on Instagram, and I see that a notification that says officially Richard Sherman is now going to be replacing Shannon Sharpe on Undisputed. We got a bunch of articles here. I'm going to read from, let me see, the New York Post. It says Richard Sherman is joining FS1 to spar with Skip Bayless on Undisputed. He said, in the wake of Shannon Sharpe's departure from the program, the Post has learned Sherman will go at Bayless on around 50 to 100 shows per year, mostly during football season. He will remain on Amazon's Prime Thursday Night Football show. And then we got another article here. This is from Sports Illustrated. Rich, let me just pin this in the comment section in case some people want that information right there. So for the new people coming in, Shannon Sharpe is officially being replaced by Richard Sherman on Undisputed with Skip and Shannon. This is from Sports Illustrated. Richard Sherman agrees to join Undisputed with Skip Bayless per report. Goes on to say just over a few months after Shannon Sharpe's departure from the popular FS1 debate show, it appears the current host Skip Bayless is finally has himself a new sparring partner. FS1 is reportedly hiring former All-Pro cornerback and Super Bowl champion Richard Sherman as the show's new co-host, according to the New York Post. Andrew Marchand. Sherman is expected to do about 50 to 100 shows per year, mostly during football season. The network is also reportedly interested, listen to this, interested in adding Keyshawn Johnson, who ESPN recently laid off. The new gig will not interfere with Sherman's work as an analyst on Thursday Night Football broadcast for Amazon Prime Video. Sherman and Bayless have had a previous... Okay, so pretty much that's the news. Shannon Sharpe now is being... somebody said very intelligent. Sherman is very intelligent. We're going to get to that. So Shannon Sharpe now is being replaced by Richard Sherman. Few things worth discussing about this news. Number one, they said that they're going to have him for about 50 to 100 shows. Now, let's assume Undisputed is on what? How many times are they on a week? 5, 4. So they must be on what? But I don't know. Maybe they're on quite a bit throughout the year, which means that he may not be there forever. I mean, for all the shows. And then for them to say that they're now possibly looking at bringing in Keyshawn Johnson, but then also we're hearing that Skip Bayless just recently recruited Lil Wayne to be coming in on, I think, on the Friday shows. It actually sounds like Undisputed is going to be kind of mimicking what ESPN First Take is doing. But first of all, let me ask the audience. Let me see if you guys like this move. Let me just post this in. Do you like this move for Sherman? Y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Let me ask you guys in the community. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. I'm quite curious to hear about this. Somebody says Skip Bayless won the breakup. Let me see what people are saying. About 57%, 58% of the people are saying that they like the move. 55. Oh wow, actually, okay. It's more about 50. Damn. Okay, damn. So wow, this is pretty crazy. A lot of people are saying no now. Okay, let's see what more people are going to say about that as the show goes on. Now, let's talk about Richard Sherman. Okay, as the article mentioned, he's a former All-Pro cornerback and Super Bowl champion. But there are a few other things about Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman is actually a pretty smart dude. He's a pretty smart dude. If you look at his education, apart from being an elite level athlete when he was playing, but he actually went to college for 4 years in Stanford. Now, I don't know particularly what he studied, what he focused on, but nevertheless, he went to Stanford. Now, another thing worth mentioning is that Richard Sherman, funny enough, is from Compton, LA, which means that you have a very smart guy, at least academically. You have a very smart guy that has an edge to him. He has an edge. And we saw this edge when him and Skip Bayless went at it a few years ago, well, more than a few years ago on TV. So Richard Sherman and Skip Bayless have a history. So for Skip Bayless to now try to tap Richard Sherman on the shoulder, because we know that Skip Bayless has a lot of control over that show, it shows you that, number one, those guys at Fox Sports and Undisputed, these guys knew that they had to steal headlines. They definitely are making a ratings play. I think by getting this guy, by getting Richard Sherman, I think that they believe that, number one, they're going to create a lot of buzz. Another thing worth mentioning for the guys in the audience, somebody said, I'm better at life than you. I appreciate that, Prime Sports Media. Another thing worth mentioning is that Skip Bayless said that they're actually going to be bringing back Undisputed on August 28th, which I believe is the kickoff of the NFL season. For the new people coming in, somebody just said, what? Yes. Richard Sherman is now being replaced, excuse me, or is now replacing Shannon Sharpe on Undisputed. For the new people coming in, I'm going to just read a little bit from this Sports Illustrated article here. Let me just pin it for you guys for the new people coming in. I said, dang. So basically, this article is saying, for the new people, because I know some of you guys that have been here already for a minute, basically it's saying is that FS1 is reportedly hiring former All-Pro cornerback, Super Bowl champion Richard Sherman as the show's new co-host, according to the New York Post, Andrew Marchand. They then said Sherman is expected to appear on 50 to 100 shows per year, mostly during football season. So I'm not really sure how that's going to work. I guess we'll have to see it. And then the article goes on to say the network is also reportedly interested in adding Keyshawn Johnson, who ESPN recently laid off. So that's what it's saying. Here's another thing that I think is very important. If you guys know anything about Skip Bayless, or if you guys have listened to anything, let's listen to Skip Bayless talk about his career. Skip Bayless has made it clear on more than one occasion that his best sport to cover and the sport that gives him the most success in terms of ratings, is football. It's football, not the NBA. Football is apparently where Skip Bayless excels. He's good at basketball, but he's a football guy. And if you follow his story back at ESPN, a lot of the shows that were more focused on the NFL did extremely well when he was at ESPN. So for this article to say, number one, they're going to tap another football guy, if you notice, and it really shows you the power of the NFL and just how popular the NFL is compared to all of these other sports. The fact that they're replacing this guy with another NFL player tells you something. Notice they're not replacing him with any basketball player. Notice that. So I think that Undisputed is making a clear-cut play to get ratings. And for them to be saying they're going to try to get Keyshawn Johnson, I think they're probably going to lean a little bit more into football. I know that now that Tom Brady is retired, you're going to need somebody on that show to generate some type of ratings around football because you can no longer argue about Tom Brady. I also think that Richard Sherman is going to be somebody that's going to disagree with Skip Bayless on a lot of issues. Now, I don't know where Richard Sherman, where he stands with LeBron James and all of that, but I think it's a safe bet to say that he's probably going to be maybe not a LeBron guy, but somebody that likes LeBron. Because I can't see having two anti-LeBron James guys on Undisputed. I can't see that. Another thing worth pointing out. We've done a lot of videos on on ESPN. We've done a lot of videos. Yesterday, was it yesterday? No, today I woke up and I saw a video from Willie D Live. Excuse me, Willie D. And in the thumbnail, it says Willie D. Ticket TV goes off on Stephen A. Smith. And I was like, whoa, okay, what the hell happened here? Apparently, a lot of people are not really feeling ESPN like you would think they are. A lot of people are not really feeling Stephen A. Smith like he would like you to think they are. And even though Pat McAfee just joined ESPN, if you guys listen to a recent report that we did on this channel, FS1 has actually surpassed ESPN for more cable users in terms of subscriptions in the United States. FS1 is actually leading ESPN in subscriptions. They have 71 point something million, while ESPN, and it's the first time it's ever happened. So for Skip Bayless to be going after these guys and to say that he's only going to be on the show from 50 to 100 times a year, and there's the possibility of Keyshawn Johnson, I would not be surprised if Skip Bayless and these guys, yes, I am live. I'm live. Yes, I'm live. I would not be surprised if Undisputed and these guys go out there and try to go get somebody else that maybe ESPN let go of. Because I don't think FS1 has the same stench that ESPN has. The same stench. I don't think so. I don't believe so. Yes, it's live. We never do lives that's pre-recorded. Every live that you see me on is actually live. So we're on here live. Now, if I look at this poll, about 300 plus people have voted. 60% of the people say they like the move. And this is even before they watch the show. And you know this number is going to tilt even more towards the yes when people watch the show and it starts. Somebody said pre-recorded live. So how am I responding to your comments? Stop being a dodo. Come on, cut it out. Like, come on, son. Come on, son. Like, stop. But anyway, so to me, I think it's going to work out. I think it's going to work out for Undisputed. I think that these guys are really, really, really going to try to compete with ESPN First Take. If you read the comments, a lot of people are feeling it. And remember, there's still a lot of talent out there that's not been signed. Jalen Rose is still out there. Max Kellerman is still out there. Jeff Van Gundy is still out there. and a plethora of, you heard they just mentioned Keyshawn Johnson. There are a bunch of other people that FS1 could potentially bring on. Because at one point, FS1 had Jason Whitlock, they had Marcellus Wiley, they had a few other guys, but now they got some high-profile names that I believe that they can go out and recruit. And they're really, really going to compete with ESPN. And here's the fundamental difference between FS1 and ESPN. ESPN is full of a bunch of loudmouths hollering about how great we are, how good they are with ratings. And FS1, you just have a bunch of people over there that focus on giving great takes. Some of them are hot takes, some of them are garbage takes, but nevertheless, they still focus on takes. They're not telling you how great they are. And while Stephen A. Smith is up there hollering about how great he is, FS1 just surpassed ESPN. Let me repeat that. FS1 surpassed ESPN when it comes to overall subscriptions. And I'm actually trying to find an article because maybe some people won't believe me, but they actually have. So to me, this is a pretty big move. A pretty big move. And I think Skip Bayless is probably going to win this one. I also think that this opens up an avenue for Shannon Sharpe somewhere. But let me tell you guys something. I think that people can be replaced. For as much as people love Shannon Sharpe, and a lot of people do, people will forget. And they will move on. They will move on to the next person. And once Richard Sherman comes on TV and people start digging his content and digging his takes, before you know it, nobody going to be talking about, man, you remember when Shannon Sharpe was on Undisputed? Those days are going to be gone. I'm actually just trying to look for the article where the article came out where it said, I got the article for you guys. Let me read this article for you guys because maybe some people don't believe me. I got the article for you guys right here, and this is through Business Journal. Let me read this article for you guys. You guys can check it out. I've posted it in the chat. Basically, this article says FS1 cable carriage estimates surpass ESPN for the first time. Nielsen latest estimates indicate FS1 is now in 71.3 million homes, down from 73.9 in January. Despite the drop, FS1 has edged ahead of ESPN, which is now in 71.3 to 1 million households in January, and in January, and all of that. So, given the fact that so many people dislike ESPN because it's a Disney company, I can definitely see a lot of people moving over to FS1. I can definitely see that because people may want an alternative. And I can almost guarantee you guys this. If Richard Sherman is good on TV, I don't watch him on his Thursday Night Football. I don't watch him on that, whatever it is, with Amazon Prime. But if he's good on TV and he has some spirited debates with Skip Bayless, trust me, he's going to be a big star too. You better believe it. It's going to catapult his career. Somebody said FS1 is Disney too. Okay, probably that's, I don't know. Well, FS1 is not overt with some of his agenda pushing the way ESPN does, probably. So Skip Bayless is pulling it off, man. A lot of us counted him out. Skip Bayless looks hella irrelevant on YouTube. But if Skip Bayless pulls off these moves and Richard Sherman is a hit, he's bringing in Lil Wayne, he's going after Keyshawn Johnson, God knows who else they're going to go after. I definitely think it's going to go back to the way it was when the show first started, where they had more of an ensemble cast instead of just Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless every single day. Maybe you may not, like when the show first started, You had so many different people coming in. If they do that, Skip may be able to recapture his magic. He may be able to do that. You got to hand it to him. And for somebody as old as he is, you got to listen. We got to give it up when we got to give it up. If they pull it off, you got to give the guy some credit. You got to give him some credit because Skip was looking irrelevant over the last 2 months. He was looking a little bit irrelevant, but if he pulls it off and people like Richard Sherman, you ain't got to like Skip Bayless. You won't have to like Skip Bayless. But if you like Richard Sherman going at Skip Bayless, and if you feel, oh my God, Richard Sherman is giving it to Skip Bayless wins because he's getting the ratings, man. So he wins. Even if you don't like Skip Bayless and you like Richard Sherman, giving it to Skip every day and you're watching, he wins. He wins. He wins. And I think Skip has, and I could be wrong, if you look at FS1, Undisputed, and you look at ESPN First Take, I actually think that Skip may have more creative freedom than Stephen A. Smith does at ESPN, and I'm going to tell you guys why. You guys can let me know if you agree or not. We've seen numerous encounters on ESPN First Take when JJ Redick has gone at Stephen A. Smith. We've seen encounters when Jay Williams has gone at Stephen A. Smith. Do you honestly believe in your mind that if that was Skip Bayless and he was the head of ESPN First Take, do you honestly think in your right mind that JJ Redick would have went at Skip Bayless and that would have been it? It would have been like, oh, nah, bro, it's all good. You just being your natural self. I appreciate that. Skip would have got his ass up out of there. Skip ain't having it. Skip is not going to let you disrespect him on his own show. Because Stephen A. Smith, yeah, he'll act like it didn't bother him. It bothered him. But Skip Bayless, if you disrespect him on his show, he's going to start banging on that damn table. Skip will bang on that table, and he's not playing. When he bangs on that table, and he's like, hold on, I take offense to that. He's not playing. So all of that bleep that Kendrick Perkins and them boys was pulling on ESPN First Take, they cannot pull that madness on Skip. I can tell you that. Richard Sherman can go at Skip Bayless, but you better believe me, there will be no disrespect. When Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless had their blow up, who left? That will let you know who was in charge. Who left? Who did the network choose? Who left? Who left? And apparently, Skip has more skills that go beyond just debating and pissing people off with his LeBron James takes. Apparently, he knows what goes into making a good. Listen, there are a lot of times I'll disagree with Skip, but you got to give it up when you got to give it up. Skip Bayless, how old is Skip Bayless? Skip Bayless got to be, how old is Skip Bayless? Skip Bayless is what? Skip Bayless is 71 years old. This dude is 71 years old. Most people at 71, they're drinking tea, man. They're resting. They're relaxing. This dude has more energy for his job than some 25-year-olds. You got to give it up to him. A normal 70-year-old would have been like, yo, bro, I'm rich. What am I doing here? I'm going to Cabo. I'm going to Fiji. What are we doing? Ernestine, what are we doing? I'm going to Fiji. Skip is like, nah. You mofos think I'm done. I'm going to show you guys I'm not done. Skip ain't playing. He's not playing, man. You got to give it up. I mean, you got to give it to him. You got to give it to him. Somebody says, Charles, why are you giving Skip all these props? What you want me to do, man? What you want me to do? What you want me to do? What you want me to do? We got to be balanced. What am I going to say? We got to be balanced about it. You know, what am I supposed to say? Somebody says it's for real. Oh, yeah, it's for real. It's for real. And I think Richard Sherman and Skip Bayless, I think Richard Sherman may even be more. I think we're going to see more fireworks potentially between Richard Sherman than we saw with Shannon Sharpe. Because Richard Sherman ain't having it. If you guys know anything about Richard Sherman, he's not going for it. He's not going for it. He is not going for it. Richard Sherman, he will push back on Skip. I've seen it happen on television. And to me, what's admirable is that usually, if you have a moment with somebody like that, especially on TV, you're not going to want to be around that person. If you and somebody are talking and you guys have a disagreement to the point where one person starts taking personal shots at you in front of a room of people, it's really unlikely that you're going to want to interact with that person again. It's really unlikely. But in the case of Skip, he's like, not only do I want to interact with this guy, I think that our disagreement would make for a better show. So therefore, I'm willing to put aside my ego for the sake of the show. That's a different level of thinking. Let's be for real. Most of us are more egotistical than that. Most of us would be like, I don't like this dude. I don't want to work with him. I don't even like him. I don't even like him. You want me to work with him? I don't like him. So for that to happen, bro, this is a pretty big one. So here's my prediction. I predict that if Undisputed has a wider range of topics, let me repeat it once more. If Undisputed has a wider range of topics this season, if they have an ensemble cast with like Richard Sherman, Keyshawn Johnson, maybe some people that we have not thought of yet, if they have an ensemble cast and a wider range of topics, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I think that Undisputed is going to be just as entertaining, or if not just more entertaining than ESPN First Take this next year coming. That's my prediction. I think it's going to be the more entertaining show. I think so. I think if Undisputed has an ensemble cast, because Shannon Sharpe and Skip was getting stale, the topics were getting repetitive, they were becoming predictable. I think if they get a reboot, they get fresher topics, different people coming in, I think it could work. And I think it could be just as entertaining as ESPN First Take. Because you better believe Skip and these people are tired of hearing Stephen A. Smith say we've had the number one rated show for the past 11 years or 12 years. I mean, these people are competing. And ESPN let go of a lot of talent. A lot of talent. A lot of talent. That if you can repurpose these guys, you can come up with something interesting. They let go of a lot of talent. So that's the move of the day. Let me look at the poll. Let me see what you guys have said. Okay, so 60-40. So 6 out of every 10 people think that there's going to be a good show. It's a good move. I think this number is going to change a little bit more when the season starts. And guess what? The show is starting in 20 days, guys. August 28th is like in 2 weeks. 2.5 weeks. And the show's going to be here. Somebody said, what happened? What happened was Richard Sherman is joining Undisputed. ESPN First Take Undisputed. Let me just check 1 or 2 comments. Let me see if I missed some comments here before I go off. I got a few more minutes so I can take some of your questions. First Take is negative entertainment, so it's not so much. That's an interesting point. Let me see what else some other people are saying. 20 days is 3 weeks. I'm not sitting up here. I'm not the calendar man. That's not my job. Oh, I'm sorry. 21 days is 3 weeks. You can have a cookie now that you were able to laugh that off. Next one. Let me see who else got some questions. Who is going to be the cornerback? He used to go to Odell. Okay. Rupert Murdoch owns FS1. Okay. Somebody said fist bump. That's a good one. Please, no more Malika Andrews. Then you ain't got to watch. Who else? Keep up the good work. Appreciate that. Let me just read 1 or 2 more comments. Somebody said you failers, but I don't know what that means. Let me see. The people that voted no just want to see Skip fail and Shannon make him look dumb. Who else? Now, to be honest, besides Undisputed. Okay, so I think I pretty much read everybody's comments. Do you know how much he's getting paid? I don't know, but he probably getting a nice little bag. I don't know, but I'm sure he's gonna be making himself a nice little nickel along the way. Let me see that. Okay, so that's the news, you guys. Appreciate you guys for being a part of this live. And we definitely gonna catch you guys. We definitely gonna catch you guys on the next show. Y'all have a good one. Y'all have a good one. Peace.